because we are going to be interviewing Cindy Rector. And I'm just going to see if we can get Cindy here. She is coming around the mountain when she comes. Cindy, there she is. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, James Coolidge.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. So again, as we're saying, we're here at Youth for Christ, YFC London. That's London, Ontario in Canada. And we are a youth-based organization that works with youth currently in Zoom and community throughout the city of London. And by the looks of it, from some of the Instagram lives that have been going on with Compass Basketball and the Deck and some of the other programs, it looks like potentially North America, maybe even the world. Amazing. Looks like the Deck has just come on. Hey, Mr. Deck, good to see you. Yeah, so it's so good. And so we've been going through the staff each week and just getting to know who the staff are, asking them a few questions. And Cindy Rector is one of the youth that we work with. No, she's one of our staff, and she works in the area of partner development. She basically connects with those that financially support our ministry because we are completely supported by individuals, community members, and businesses in our city. And so Cindy is involved in all of that communication and helping us stay on track in our events. So thanks for joining us, Cindy. And okay, we've got a few questions for you, Cindy. And before, what we could do is a lightning round. And so I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and you just give first answer. Okay?
Okay.
So Tuesdays or Thursdays?
Tuesdays.
Interesting. Favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Wow, that took a while. Super sight or super smell?
Definitely super sight.
Okay. I don't know why you want super smell. Peanut butter and jam or peanut butter and chocolate?
Peanut butter and jam. Traditional.
Interesting. Your favorite city?
London, Ontario.
I was going to say, that one could have definitely ended your career here in the city. Work or retirement?
Well, I hear, does it have to be that quick? I hear that in ministry, retirement is death. So I'd have to say work.
Okay, then. There you go. Squats or push-ups?
What are they?
Oh dear. Okay. So on that note, we have gotten to know a little bit about Cindy and what she does and doesn't do. And I see one person here. We got the Deck who these guys they just throw questions out last minute. But hey, we'll ask this question. So Cindy, what is your favorite before bedtime snack?
Popcorn with butter.
Popcorn with butter.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Every night, faithfully.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we've got some other questions here for you.
Okay.
How did you get started working at such a cool place like YFC London?
Well, so a long time ago, maybe 7 years ago, I met James Coolidge at a service club. And I was sort of retired. I was a financial planner. Then I did some fundraising for a company. And James said, "Oh, I need somebody to come along to plan a golf tournament and a banquet. Would you help us?"
Seems reasonable.
And I think James Coolidge, who said it'd just be like 3 months. I said, "James, I don't want a job and I don't want a boss." And James Coolidge said, "It's just 3 months and you could just call me friend." So I said yes, and I took the job and I helped plan a banquet and a golf tournament, and I just never left.
Way to go. That's impressive.
You haven't figured that out yet.
You haven't figured out that we stopped paying you. Okay. So the question that so many people are asking is, what is it like to have James as your boss?
Oh, but are you my boss? You said friend.
That was a trick question.
Yeah. You know what? Here, the bottom line is, as I'm looking at you, and you're just such an amazing person.
Mm,
So
mm,
it's not that you're my boss, even though you are, but
yes.
I look at you as more of a friend, and I love your heart. I love your heart for what you do here, and I love your heart for your family, and I love your heart for your friends. And it's been a pretty nice
Wow.
time.
Wow, this is really good because you're really showing people a little bit about your partner development and how you encourage people and share with them the opportunity to partner and make them feel really good. So good, Cindy, so good. Which makes me realize, since this is about you, not about me, uh, why are you so popular? I mean, we put out on social media earlier this week, please give us questions that you want us to ask Cindy about. And it's a post about, oh, Cindy's so wonderful. She's just amazing. And I was, oh, Cindy, oh, she's the best. Her smile just, it's like, okay, there wasn't a single question. There weren't any questions, which is why you're getting questions about your boss. But why are you so popular?
I think that was my husband.
No, there was like I would say between Instagram and Facebook about 8 people that made
What?
very, very positive, lengthy comments.
Oh, I,
Please.
I think they just haven't figured out the other side of me yet. And maybe they just haven't seen me before coffee.
True. Yeah. Your friends at YFC have. All right.
Yeah.
Now you're pretty consistent. All right. What is it like, Cindy, to work alongside youth workers in ministry? What is that like?
It's so different for me because as a financial planner, life was pretty corporate.
So financial
And
plan, that's what you did before YFC?
yes, there was a little
Okay.
fundraising stint in there as well after financial planning, but yeah, that was most of my career was financial planner. And
Okay.
that world is it's pretty corporate, and I don't know how to use another word that best describes it, but then I came here and it was amazing to see, first of all, to see young people. I worked with people that were my age. Here, I call them all kids, but it was amazing to see kids so sold out
Hmm.
and focused on the most important thing there can ever be, which is introducing kids to Christ. So it was an eye opener. And one of the most shocking things was I came to work like the first day or two and realized we pray at work. It
That
was
ain't real.
amazing. It felt so different.
Hmm.
I immediately loved it.
That's so cool. So cool. So the people, just for people viewing clarification, those that you're calling kids, I mean, they range anywhere from 25 to 50. So how old does that really make you? I'm putting myself in the
More
category.
than 50. Maybe
Awesome.
7 years older than that.
All
Something
right.
around there.
Nice, nice.
You
Well,
don't ever,
if you're
never ask that.
if you're just joining us, we're doing some interviews with our staff once a week, and today we're interviewing Cindy Rector, who is our partner development and event coordinator here at YFC London. So, Cindy, what do you enjoy most about working with our financial partners?
You know, I enjoy the fact that they share our passion for youth.
Hmm.
They share our passion for Christ, and it just shows in how they run their businesses, what they do, how they steward their money. I've learned a lot from our financial partners.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, with that, what are some of the challenges, especially in today? You start, I mean, financial partners. There's been a lot of hit with COVID right now. What are you hearing from some of our partners of some of the challenges and how we can be supporting them, maybe, and praying for them?
You know, there's just varying degrees of good and bad with our what our partners are going through,
Hmm.
and all of them, everybody that I have talked to, seem to be finding a way to make a rough time and a rough situation amazing.
Mm.
Yeah, they're some are redeveloping themselves in a different way of work, but many are just staying focused on, this is God's plan that we're in, and it will end, and we are to stay faithful to His leadership and His plan for us. And yeah, there are some that are struggling. There are some that remain, committed to our mission and other missions.
Okay.
Many.
Very cool. Very cool. What is the biggest thing working at YFC has taught you?
I would say that every person matters a lot.
Mm.
So I didn't see that a lot in my younger days. And especially my career was financial planning, so I dealt with probably people that had a lot of money or have a lot of money. So I didn't really see this other world of, youth that are struggling in poverty and struggling with addiction. And yeah, I think it was a good eye opener that each one of them had an amazing story. None of them probably choose to be struggling. Um, and all of them have characteristics that I know are gifts from God. It was just amazing to be able to actually sit down and chat and see what God created in them.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
didn't get that a lot in my previous life.
Mm. Your previous lives? This is your second life?
Oh, yeah.
It's okay, Cindy. We all have a journey, and it's good. So, on that note of journeys,
Mm-hmm.
you've had kind of an interesting journey too, and just your own walk, your own life, and your own faith. Can you share a little bit about that journey?
Yeah. Yeah. I spent most of my life, so I would say 47 years, I was sort of religious, I would say. I knew there was a God. It was very definitely, um, I definitely loved God.
Mm.
But I missed the whole relationship with Jesus part.
Mm.
And then I came to this church called Harvest. At that time was Harvest Bible Chapel under the leadership of Norm Miller, and went to a couple services and heard him preach the gospel that I have really not ever heard before.
Mm.
And the first couple of times I cried, I bawled through the entire service. And I didn't know why, but I knew something was different. And I realize now, looking back, I'm sure that was the Holy Spirit. I think I was missing that part. I always longed for more depth or more. It didn't make a lot of sense to me until it was preached to me.
Mm.
And yeah, and ever since then, my life has changed.
How so?
Um,
Because I mean, you hear about that, right? People have this Jesus encounter, and my life has changed, and everything's better and rosy, and I have no more problems, and God takes away all my problems, and life is better for me because God obviously loves me more because I found Jesus and I love Jesus.
yeah.
And so, what does that mean to you when you say
Mhm.
the difference
So
Jesus makes?
what it means is certainly not that I have less problems, because I would say I have many, many problems. And there's, always things in my life that, I have a daughter, Nikki, who struggles a lot with her health. So that
Mm.
didn't change. That actually continues to decline.
Mm.
But I now know that Jesus has me through it.
Mm.
And that brings me a joy. I know I can rely on Jesus. I know I can rely on the God who created me. And you know what? I didn't really understand what it meant to long for heaven. And now there is joy knowing that this tough life here that has hard times and ups and downs and health and all that kind of stuff is just temporary. I love it while I'm here, but I can't wait to spend eternity with Jesus.
Mm. Yeah.
that brings me comfort and joy and hope, and it just sets my heart on fire.
Mm. And it's even that God puts purpose into this brokenness in our world, right? So, I mean, I heard you say earlier that God, this is all part of God's plan, and I think that can get confusing because people can say, well, why would God want to bring this terrible thing into our world? And it's the terrible thing already existed in our world.
Right.
God, though, is still in the midst. God didn't all of a sudden go, oh, that's awful. I got to leave this world. This is terrible. I got to get out of
Yeah.
here. Like God
Yeah.
hasn't isolated himself from us.
Yeah.
God is not 6 feet away from us. He is right present with us, and he walks, as you said earlier with Nikki. He walks through it with us and brings purpose and value into it, and how we're formed in that character part. And so, yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good, Cindy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, what advice when looking? I mean, you've raised a few kids. You've got
Mhm.
3 adorable children.
Thank you.
Yeah. What advice would you give? And they're all adults in case people are wondering. But
Yeah.
what advice would you give to a parent raising a teenager today?
It gets better. Just hang on. It gets better. And you know, there'll come a day when you'll look at your kids and think, wow, look at what they have become. I can't even believe that, not that I created that, but I look at my
Mm,
kids now and think, how could I have been part of that? They're so amazing and so special, and somehow they're my friend.
mm,
So, yeah, they
that's
still
cool.
love me. There was a time when they were teenagers that I thought, oh, what, how are we ever going to have a relationship when they're older? But it just happens. It just comes, and then it's the most special time you could ever want.
Mm, yeah, yeah. And it's you're right. And calling that value, that space of who they are out of what God's put in them in each child in each life. Yeah. And so
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
definitely be hard times, and there will be, especially as those little children become adults, but sometimes even as they're little children. And there's not an easier time through it. And so it's just loving and grace and loving and grace. And yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So we've got a question here from Dan. He says, hearing this, I noticed you both deal with families under special health circumstances. How do you deal with those tough days in which you have to be a support for them, but you also have no strength? Cindy?
Well,
Those days where you're just exhausted, um, and you're tired, you're feeling
yeah,
the stress of even this current isolation and the
yeah,
disconnection from some of the respite that you can have,
yeah,
not available.
yeah.
And so out of strength, all of a sudden special support's required.
Hmm. You
What do you
know,
do?
what I do is I don't hesitate to rely on my amazing family, my amazing church friends, my amazing community for support when I can't. And I rely on them to pick me up and um, get me through those times. And sometimes it's, I can't do this. Would you please go get Nikki, or would you go to the hospital? Or yeah, some
Mm,
days you just can't. And those days I have an amazing community.
mm. So again, that value of community,
Hmm.
and I think that's good advice for anyone that's going through anything in life, even if they're single and don't have kids and they're just going through it on their own. It's don't isolate yourself. Like we're isolating ourselves, but don't isolate yourself
Yeah,
from the actual community
yeah.
that sees you. And if you don't know a community, Cindy, what advice would you give to somebody that is feeling very disconnected and doesn't have community?
Yeah, I would say go to the doorstep of your nearest church. Knock on the door and say, I need your help. And just wait and watch it unfold.
Mm. And if that door is locked, go to the next church.
And go to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, right now you can go on YouTube and you can just Google churches in London and
Yeah,
you can go and check out any church online that way. And
yeah,
most of them do have live streaming Sunday services. You can add a comment in the comment and then get connected to church right away. So now more than ever is church accessible. And so, yeah, it'd be a great way to just get connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because right now, a lot of church doors probably are locked.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
yeah,
That's
so be good to just find them online and start connecting
yeah.
and build that community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them have phone numbers online where you could just hit one button, call a number, and really be connected to somebody who can truly and legitimately and, you know, love
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
for who you are, for where you're at, and that support is vital.
Yeah. And being guarded, I mean, I would as well encourage people to be a little bit guarded, not cynical, but just guarded, because there are sometimes you can go into a church and you become the church project. You are not a project. You're looking for a relationship.
Yeah.
And if your spidey senses are sort of stringing up and going, I think I'm their pet project right now, it may not be the right community for you. You want a community that is able to receive and give, and you might be in a position where you just need to receive. But there will be a day where you can give as well. The challenge when you're into a church that treats you like a project is when you're ready to give, there's no space for you to give. It's like, well, I want to volunteer. I want to help too. Oh, well, you can't, because you need to follow through the following religious hoops for you to be acceptable
Yeah.
to open the door and shake a person's hand. And so you just want to make sure you're not the project, because
Right.
that gives you a wrong image of Jesus, and it gives you a wrong image of what the gathering of Jesus followers is all about.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So again, not to be jaded or cynical, but just if you are
Yeah.
listening to this now or in the future, yeah, look for a real church that's going to treat
Yeah.
you like an individual and invite you into the community that you belong,
Yeah.
and right off the hop. So
Yeah.
yeah, awesome. And I know that's what you found when you went to Harvest Now Redemption,
Yep.
was that you were basically pulled in and you were in the middle of it. I mean, I love, if you ever get a chance, folks, listen to her whole testimony of just how God connected his love with her, and she just knew Jesus was real. And from there, a whole different step came into her being. And that step was just purpose, was value, was worthiness, was identity in Christ. And so, yeah, so Cindy's got a really cool testimony.
Yeah.
Now, Cindy, do you have any other things you would like to share with us? Any deep secrets that might be going on media this week, or anything that we can get the inside scoop on?
That might be going on media this week. Are you talking about?
I have no idea. I'm just rambling.
Well, if you're looking for a Youth for Christ plug,
What's that?
there might or might not be a golf tournament happening in June,
Ooh,
as well as walkathon. So if you're thinking, how can I get involved in this amazing Youth for Christ too?
that's what I'm wondering.
That would be the way. Go on our website, look at walkathon. It's called the Next Step Challenge. And whether we can gather or not doesn't matter, because we can all walk in our own neighborhoods. And for that reason, we're going ahead.
Yeah, we got a good virtual challenge that we've got set up for it. So it'll be still a collaborative start and a collaborative finish, and a lot of unique challenges that people will be doing in their neighborhoods. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
On the personal side, we bought a farm. Can I say that?
Sure, you can.
Okay. So we're pretty excited because me and my family have bought a farm, and we have a barn there, and our plan is to host some weddings.
That's so good.
Kind of going through zoning and all that kind of stuff right now, but eventually we're going to open up and have weddings there.
And the thing that I'm excited about your farm is it's also my buddies, which happens one of them being your husband, the other one actually being your pastor.
Yeah.
Also our flying field. So we really enjoy that. And even with safe space distancing, we can do all of that and still enjoy the outdoors and flying. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, Cindy, thank you for your time, and thank you for showing two things. Showed how you are a good partner development person by connecting personally, and two, the event coordination and the fact that you put a plug in for two of the fundraisers that you're running in June. So well done. Well done. You're going to have to talk to your boss and see if you can't get a raise.
Well, I was going to finish with that.
Okay, well, that's the end. And so thank you again, Cindy. Sorry we don't have more time to hear what you're about to say.
Oh,
But folks, thank you for joining us. And we look forward to introducing you to more of our staff and what's going on behind the scenes in their lives. Now, Cindy, we're going to let you get back to your refrigerator. We saw that earlier on a video that you tend to like your fridge. So we'll let you get back to that fridge.
okay. Thank you. I'm hungry.